help them in that transition. In at that point, that they're at in life, because there's things necessarily that they have to think about. There's things that you have to kind of plan for that a traditional, up and coming family are not having to think about. Right. When they're buying and selling, in terms of estate planning, in terms of some of the tax ramifications that come when you sell a house and things like that. And, just kind of some of the paperwork that comes with, for unforeseen circumstances kind of come up. So I just want to, kind of be like a resource and bring to them information to kind of help make that transition smoother and open their eyes to some of the things that they might not really be thinking of that they really do need to plan for.
Sure. And I've heard multiple stories about reverse mortgages. There are obviously incredible advantages to using them. Unfortunately, I think there are also opportunistic lenders out there who may have taken advantage of the older population. Have you seen that with some of the people you've spoken with, that maybe they got stuck with the wrong people?
Well, there's a lot of misconceptions, and as I was talking to our mortgage broker, Greg, who's going to be the speaker at the event that I'm hosting next month, there's just a lot of misinformation. Right. There's a lot of misinformation and myths about reverse mortgages, and people don't necessarily have all of the facts. And, one or two bad scenarios where people might not necessarily have been misinformed. They might not necessarily have been misinformed, but they didn't understand all of the information. Okay. And yeah, so
and to that point, Stacey, mm-hmm. If they line up or align with someone like yourself and Greg, who really have their best interests at heart, I know that you do. It can be a really great opportunity for them, right?
Yes, because it'll allow them to stay in the home. It'll allow them to kind of pause the payments to where you would just be doing like your property taxes. If you have like HOA fees, that would be applicable. It will allow you to gain some cash, tap into the equity within the home. So, for instance, he was telling me about one of the cases to whereas a husband and wife, and she had MS. And the husband wanted to, he was consulting about a reverse mortgage because he wanted to be able to stay home and, take care of his wife. So he was working with them on that. Yeah. So those are the scenarios to whereas, a reverse mortgage would be beneficial to the, to that population. Yes. The 62 and over, because that's the, the minimum age.
Right. Well, yeah, that definitely makes perfect sense. And the other thing that I can tell you too, Stacey, and I just wanted to share this with you only because I know how compassionate you are for people, not just the elderly, but people in general. Anyone that's been a nurse for 20 years has to like people a little bit. Now, that's not saying we haven't met cranky nurses, right? I've met some cranky nurses. Yes. But I just want to tell you, and for me, I don't necessarily talk about this fact very often, but when I hear the letters MS, I do mention the fact that I've been basically kicking the crap out of it and overcoming it since 2012. I was diagnosed in 2004. I walked with a cane from 2009 to 2015, and I've been medication free since 2012. I'm in the gym now. I can walk on my own and a lot of things. So it has a near and dear place in my heart. So, maybe after this, I can give you some of the tips and suggestions, things that have helped me on my journey that might help those folks that you spoke about. So I'd be more than willing to do that later. And then the other thing you had mentioned, and thank you so much for having that seminar about reverse mortgages and helping them really understand and navigate their way through that, which it, can be kind of daunting for someone who doesn't know what you know, and to have you there and to have Greg there to to really guide them, they're going to be in a safe space for sure. Tell me a little bit about what your focus is on working with investors. You said that you work out of the Inner Harbor office in Baltimore?
Exit on the harbor in Parkville.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
And is that located in the city?
Parkville, so what is that, the county?
Okay,
North
Baltimore
side?
County?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And you live in Baltimore yourself?
I'm in Glen Burnie.
Okay, sure. Well, see, there's all this commonality today. I grew up in Millersville. I played baseball at the Greater Glen Burnie Junior Sports League. So again, I told you earlier, I'm dating myself. That was way back in the 70s, but we definitely have a lot of cool things happening, and I'm definitely familiar with Parkville. I have some friends that live in that area. So let me ask you this: when you're working with an investor, what are some of the benefits or maybe even unique value proposition? What can you bring to an investor to make their lives a little easier when they're deciding on the next property they're looking to purchase?
Okay.
Besides comps, you can provide comps.
Yes.
Okay.
I can provide comps, but I think more importantly, I understand the mindset.
Okay.
I understand the mindset, and I have an appreciation because some agents necessarily don't like or don't necessarily see the benefit of working with investors. Right. But I love the mindset. I love the mindset because I'm on the same path as well. Right. So yes, mindset, and then in terms of
well, I wanted to say one thing to the mindset point, if I could, real quick.
Okay.
What I sometimes think is that the traditional agent and the real estate investor speak two different languages.
Yes. Yes.
And like you said, many people don't want to do things that they don't understand. And many traditional real estate agents have no idea, and they don't understand what a real estate investor is trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you have that investment background, you said that you have done assignments of contract and wholesaling prior to becoming an agent. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So
that's the reason why I became an agent, because I didn't want to have to depend on a realtor for comps.
Okay.
I wanted access.
Okay. Good. And so, like you said, you have that unique perspective. You're seeing it from their eyes. So it makes it a really, really good fit. One of the things I'm going to recommend to you, I'm sure you probably have already done this, but joining Facebook real estate groups. Obviously, you're here in the group that I created. We're almost at 1,700 members. I'm very excited. I've been building this up over the last year and a half.
Oh, nice.
And then I also recommend for you is to try to do some networking through local meetups and real estate investor associations. It's a great way to get that message out there. And I'm just really, really excited to have this opportunity because for me, and I had mentioned I've done a few interviews recently, but everyone that wants to get on here with me, they have a heart for service. And that's really, and I'm gonna get philosophical on you for a second.
Okay.
We're really put on the earth for a few reasons. Okay, one is to just discover your divine purpose. Why you're here. Another reason is to love and be loved, and then another one is to serve others. So, obviously, not only do I believe that you are in flow with those thoughts and feelings, but you have taken your nursing skills into the real estate space. So I know you're going to continue to become more and more successful with that thought in mind. And that's the thing you were talking about before about regular agents. Many people in business are only thinking about themselves. And it doesn't sound like you're that person. It sounds like you're a giver. Am I right?
Yes. Yes. I mean, we all like to receive, but my I feel like my strength and what I really want to bring to the table is becoming a becoming valuable and offering good service and offering quality. I think if you put yourself out there and people know that you A, know what you're talking about, and then B, that you don't mind helping, and that they can at least come to you and you can give them the conversation. And people, I think, for the most part, still just want to be heard outside of real estate. So if you can lend an ear and be empathetic and be willing to really dig a little bit deeper and find out what's going on with people and kind of what the problems are, then you can create a better solution to help them solve those problems. Because that's part of being a real estate agent. You're in the business of solving problems, getting to the root of a problem. Because someone's selling a house, but what's the real reason? Your job is to find out what's the real reason to sell their house and what would be the best course of action to help them solve their problem quickly and in a way that they're going to feel enthused that they came to you to help them.
And I got into real estate, actually in my 20s, and I got my license, and I was young and dumb, and whatever, young, dumb, and broke. It's a song. I was young, dumb, and broke, and I just didn't have any focus, so I stopped, and didn't really do much with it. So back in 2004, I got my license again. Happened to be the same year I was diagnosed, like I'd mentioned earlier. But I got my license again in 2004, and I sold my first wholesale deal in Baltimore in 2005. And that's when I kind of got the real estate investor bug. There's a group in Baltimore called the Dominion Group. They lend money. They're a property management company. And my first wholesale deal I did with a gentleman by the name of Fred Lewis. And a lot of people in Baltimore know who he is. But the reason I mention that is a lot of people, and I think myself included, get into real estate to make money and to chase money. And I get into philosophies from time to time. But if you, like you have already spoken about, you want to serve other people, you want to add value to their lives. Mm-hmm. And I firmly believe that money, income, and profit is only a byproduct of doing the right thing. It sounds like you do the right thing.
Yes, thank you. And I think my mindset for doing the business, when we were going over some of my branding stuff, and she asked me, what do you want to be remembered for, or what do you want to be known as? And I had mentioned to her, I want to be known as an agent who is fun and generous.
Nice. Yeah, because well, first of all, you smile a lot and you have an awesome smile, so that is contagious. Your energy is contagious. I'd like to think that my energy is contagious because we have a servant's mentality. And I don't know where you stand spiritually, but God wants us to serve other people. And that's really, really important for us at the core of who we are as human beings. And I've really worked harder and harder over the past, especially 2-3 years. When I talk to anyone, and you and I interacted through my Facebook group, and then we decided to do this interview, which is wonderful, by the way. I'm enjoying myself. But to that point, when I talk to another human being and they tell me their story, whatever it is, whatever they're saying, the first thing I think about is, how can I help? How can I add? How can 1 + 1 = 3? How can I make a difference? Is that something that you do on the course of your typical day?
Yeah, you can. I would say I like to, I would put myself, depending on the conversation, try to put myself in their shoes and then figure out what I can do to at least help them make things a little bit easier.
Okay. So would it be safe to say that not only from your nursing background, but in your service to others, are you an empath and you find yourself kind of relating to your people very well, your customers?
I like to think so.
Okay.
I like to think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Outstanding. And you know, from the conversation we had before we got on here, and you told me about, you know, how long you've been in service. It's not for everybody. There are some people that shouldn't be in service, customer service for one, you know.
Yes.
And so how have you found that your clients, the active adults and the investor community, how have they responded to you because of the type of person that you are? How's the feedback been?
I think, well, I have a longer feedback because I've been in nursing for so long, and in the investor space, I've been received well. I knew people from when I was doing the investing side,
Right.
I think just because we have similar interests, we get along.
Right.
You can't be doing the investing side without having some kind of a similar mindset, regardless of what your background is.
Sure.
Your mind is automatically in a certain place for you to even want to pursue that path.
I agree.
You know?
I know that there are a number of real estate brokerage models out there. Okay, there's Coldwell Banker and Century 21 and Exit and Keller Williams and EXP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a moment to recruit. So if you bring in other agents into your company, are there people there that are kind of there to help them grow quickly and you win and they win? Is that how Exit works?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. I have shout out to Sal Cloper and Olga.
Okay.
That's my broker. Yes. And it's so funny because we were talking about it the other day. I really like Saul. I was put on to him through Andre Johnson. He actually was one who invited me.
Yeah, I know Andre.
Okay. So he invited me into Exit, and I came in through him, and he introduced me to Saul because Saul is closer to my area.
Right.
And I really, really do enjoy Saul and Olga. They are very helpful. The thing about them, they're in-house and they're willing to help the agents that come on, and they're really doing a lot to create like a culture and a family vibe, which I feel is very important because it's business, but I feel like, I'm not really into clicks and I'm not really into, stuffy environment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And some brokerages are dog eat dog maybe, or very, very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that you obviously have an abundance mentality, and I think that's the thing that people miss, is that if I share with you, that doesn't mean I have less. That means I have exponentially more.
Mm-hmm. And there's enough for everybody.
Right. And if everyone on the team if everyone is stronger, the team is stronger. And if the team is stronger, you attract more of everything that you want. And so it's great that they have that philosophy. I think Andre's down more in the DC metro area. So Parkville was a better fit for you, location wise, because you're in Glen Burnie.
Yes.
And a couple other questions I want to ask you, and then we'll wrap up here shortly. Number one, how do folks get in touch with you? I'm going to post your email. I think it's already posted here, but if someone wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach out to you? You can give your email or your phone number, whichever you prefer.
Okay, so you can do the freedomnotebuyers@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or another email is Stacey, Stacey, @exitontheharbor.com.
Okay.
And then or you can hit me up on Facebook.
Okay. Yep. So Stacey Bogle is available on Facebook.
Yes.
You've got Stacey at exitontheharbor.com.
Correct.
And harbor is HARBOR.
Correct.
If you're from Europe, it's BOUR, but we're not.
No.
So Stacey at exitontheharbor.com. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
Or freedomnotebuyers@gmail.com. We connected on Facebook. I will tell you that I've got, I think I've got about 3,900 Facebook friends, and I belong to 1,520 Facebook groups.
Wow.
And I just decided one day, a few months ago, it's actually probably been about 2 months ago now, where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to interview people, and we're going to enjoy telling our stories. We're going to enjoy sharing about what we do and who we are. And, I'm going to record it, and you can use it and anything that you want to share. Maybe it's something you share with a client that you have, or a new one, or one that you've already had. Say, hey, this is a little bit more about me that you may not have known. I certainly know a lot more about Stacey Bogle now than I did an hour ago. So I really appreciate you sharing. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about yourself, what you're trying to accomplish? Do you have a date for the reverse mortgage event?
Yes. Okay. So the reverse mortgage event is December 7th. It's a Saturday.
Okay. Save the date. Yes. December 7th, Saturday. Where is it going to be, and in what time?
It is at the Exit on the Harbor office. It's going to be at the office. That's 1744 East Joppa Road. Right there, the exit right there off of 695.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, and
all right. And I will also post it. So this is ideal for the active senior, right?
And their family who would like to get more information.
Okay. All right.
on reverse mortgages.
And anyone can come to learn about reverse mortgages if they have a family member over 62.
Correct. Absolutely.
Or if they are over 62. Is that right?
Yes.
See, look at me. I know some things.
You pick up quick.
Well, I've been around a minute, so I listen a lot, and I'm constantly educating myself on a daily basis. I will say this to you, Stacey. It's been an absolute pleasure spending this time with you. If you want to add anything else, feel free to jump in. But I always enjoy meeting people, learning about their story. Like I said, I was really excited to find out that you're a nurse, and then you just decided to get in this space, because there are not enough people who care in real estate sometimes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So really, really awesome stuff. Anything else you wanted to share or add?
Well, just adding to that point, obviously we're not doing volunteer work. But I mean, I feel like just like with nursing, it can't be about the money. There has to be some kind of passion and drive and something a little bit deeper that's going to make you stay in the game. And right. That's what I really love about investors, because it's not necessarily an easy path. You know what I'm saying? The goal is at the end of the rainbow, but sometimes it's a journey to get to that place. And I just love the resilience and the mindset, and that whole sticking it out and overcoming obstacles, and really being focused on your vision and the things that you want and how you want your life to be. Mm-hmm. And that's really how I live my life. And that's really why I love investors. I because I see myself in you all, and I really want to build that connection.
Right.
not for deals, but just because I like that space, and I like. I love y'all. So and then for my senior clients as well, I like I was telling you, I really want to be a resource for them, and I want that to carry over because like you said, that demographic is not being served.
Yes.
And is and in a way, they're kind of, it seems like they're forgotten because you're just looking at, brand new families and, wanting to serve them in this space. But, from my own experience with my parents and the things that, I've had to deal with, my dad was murdered in 2007 and my mom had a stroke, which took a lot of her speech in 2003. And you have no idea some of the things that come up when your paperwork is not right and unexpected things happen.
Wow. And I said this to you before we jumped on before, but you have a beautiful bright light. And one of the things that just impressed me about what you shared, which you certainly didn't have to, is that you haven't let the events in your life dampen or darken that light. So I'm very impressed with you. I'm very grateful to have met you. And this has been an incredible time for me, and I thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Tom. Thanks for having me. This was nice.
Yes. Well, I think this is our best interview ever. Stacey Bogle, I will post your emails on this in the Facebook group when I'm done. When I'm finished, I'm going to upload this to YouTube. I'll send you the recording, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you, helping you connect the dots. That's what the People Conductor does. He brings people together for mutual benefit. So thank you again for this time, and I look forward to our paths crossing again in the near future.
Okay.
Right. Great.
Thanks,
Take care.
Tom. All right, you too.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.